Hi friends, it's Terry from Vig Says Creates. Welcome to my channel and thank you for coming and visiting with me today. Today we're going to be making this 50th birthday card which I was asked to make by a colleague for another colleague's birthday, which is next week. So come on a little journey with me and see how I create this funky, sparkly, flowery card. Let's do it. So here I am working on this this commission. I've chosen two pink colours from Hunkydory Prism inks in Jelly Bean. I think it's called Pink Jelly Bean and Dusky Rose, which I thought would look pretty together. And then I'm using this this nice layering stencil set that I got from Crafter's Companion, and I'm just using a blending brush. I've been asked to make this for a colleague's birthday. She's got a special birthday coming up next week. One of my other colleagues said, "Oh, would you be willing to make a card for her?" And so I was like, yeah, no problem. It's like one mind, like I was thinking the exact same thing myself. The colleague's fairly new, so I don't know her that well, but I know that she likes her gardening. We were talking about it yesterday, actually. So I figured, you know, I wanted to make it a big enough card so that whoever wants to sign it can sign in it. So I didn't want to make us obviously a small card. So I thought I would go ahead and make a 7x7 card, seeing as I've recently bought some 7x7 card blanks from Tonic. And these stencils are 5x7, so it just seemed perfect really, because then I'm planning on, I'm using some Nina Solar White card here to do the blending on, and I'm gradually building it up, and I figured that I could then mat that onto some pretty paper, which I've got lots of in my stash, so I'll find some afterwards that looks nice with it. And then I wasn't sure whether to mask off these areas, but I've just gone for the let's just be really careful approach, and I hope that I don't go into the green bits, which I don't seem to have touched wood so far. So far so good, my friends. And I haven't got that many of these blending brushes. I've got a few smaller ones actually, so I might use some smaller ones for the leaves. I'm just hoping this is going to turn out nice, because I need to take this into work tomorrow. To give people enough chance to sign it. So I'm really hoping that it's going to turn out nicely, so fingers crossed for me, guys. Okay, so that was the pink jelly bean. I'm going to clean off this brush just by rubbing it on this bit of scrap card, but aware of cross-contamination, so I think I'm just going to keep that brush to do the Dusky Rose, the second layer. So let's have a look what brushes I've got. I mean, I guess the other option is I could use a stamping, you know, just the general foam blending tools, but I think with the brush I've got more control. I think this one by Nuvo, I've got some of the set of small Nuvo brushes. There's 4 of them, all different sizes, going down to really teeny. So I think that I'll use this one. Obviously I've used purple on it before, and there's still quite a bit of purple left on there, so to get rid of this, as much of this purple as I can. Right, so I'm going to go for the lightest colour of ink first, which I've chosen Spring Meadow and Evergreen. So wish me luck, I'm going to go for Spring Green. Please don't let it be purple. I love green and purple, they're my favourite colours, but I don't want them on this project to mingle. I was just for a bit of inspiration while I was eating my lunch. So basically I work mornings, so I finished work. Went and had a very healthy lunch of peanut butter on toast and a cup of tea. And then I was watching a Jennifer Maguire video that she had done recently with using some layering stencils, which gave me the inspiration for this. So I thought, I've got some layering stencils that I want to play with more. So hopefully, that was a well-timed bit of inspiration from. So thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer was saying was about just going with quite a light hand first, and then gradually build up. I think I'm going to use this smaller brush that I've got here as well, which I did use a sort of greeny type colour, just to get in these very edge bits here. Easier to get that control considering I haven't masked off that area. And with it not being straight, sort of, because I mean I could like do something like use a post-it or something, but with it not being straight, it's a bit more tricky to mask off. So I'm sort of doing my best, guys. Feel free to let me know in the comments whether you'd be doing anything different, or you've got any tips for me. Maybe you've got this layering die set or something similar, and you've come up with some hacks that might be useful for me. Any tips gratefully received. But yeah, as I was saying, like Jennifer Maguire was saying, like you sort of start off gently and then build up with the layers of ink really until you're happy. And obviously I've chosen like a nice quality cardstock that's good for stamping and inking and stuff. So hoping that this turns out nicely. I thought this might be a nice card to film for you, for anyone that hasn't tried any layering stencils before, so that you can see sort of what they're all about. I've got a number of layering stencil sets. I've created a few cards so far, but not that many, and I've also got a number of layering stamp sets, which again I've produced a few cards from, but I've got some more coming actually. So my no spend for February just went completely out the window, but you know, sometimes when you see bargains you just can't resist them, so, or I can't anyway. I need to have some sort of like Crafters Anonymous group. Just like, my name is Terry, I'm addicted to buying paper craft supplies, I can't resist paper or stamp sets or things that are just a really good deal. There you go, I've just admitted it to everyone, so probably no need to go for a meeting now. And the colour that this is now looks quite different to what it does when it's dry. So this says Spring Meadow, and it actually dries like that. So it should look even prettier. And again, this pink jelly bean will fade quite a bit, so once it's dry it should look really, really nice. Now, be very careful with this, even though I might not be using any of that card, I still want to avoid any rippage or anything. The tip with this is if you're just very careful and you keep it as close to the paper as you can, you stand the best chance of not ripping up your paper. Let's carefully remove this. It's left some marks there, which doesn't look great, but let's see what it looks like once this is added. might cover up those bits. You never know. This doesn't seem to be lining up perfectly. I think this is about as close as I'm going to get it, to be honest. It's not as easy as I thought, but it's pretty much there. Because if I shift it up too high, it exposes white bits which shouldn't be exposed. Gosh, this is definitely not, unless I'm, you know, I'm doing something wrong, this is really not as simple as I thought it was going to be. Oh well, I think that's okay. I think that's lined up. And I mean, I know there's a few like splodgy bits, but I think that's going to be okay because I can cover that up with some well-placed little pretty sequins or something. So we're going to go with Dusky Rose. It's a pretty colour. And now that pink jelly bean's drying, you can see what I mean about what a lovely colour it is. Not sure, what flower is this? Dahlia. I think that is heavy enough. And then evergreen. Doesn't look like it's that much darker, but it definitely is, and that's why I find it useful to have the swatch pad, because you get to see what it actually looks like once they're dried, because you know obviously it takes a while for them to dry. And they do look different when they're wet, inks do, as opposed to when they're dry. These little tiny little brushes are coming in quite handy. Keep trying to remember to come in from the outside. Although this is quite a big flat area, I still, you know, to try and avoid like splodgy bits and stuff. But also get even coverage. It's not simple card making, is it, my friends? It's not simple, but it is worthwhile, because I do genuinely think that people, lots of people, most people appreciate handmade cards and the thought and the time and effort that's gone into making them. What I kind of feel like doing is doing like a layer of glimmer paste over the top, but it's going to take too long to dry because obviously I need to get this card done for tomorrow when I leave for work really early in the morning. But that'd be a nice idea, I think, you know, just to run some Moonstone glimmer paste, which is like the clear or like whitish one that's like all glittery. I think that looks absolutely gorgeous. Oh, that looks pretty. Yeah, I think that looks really nice. There's a few slight splodgy bits, but you can barely see them. I think that looks gorgeous. It's a really nice size too. And obviously, I've got to trim this down and then put it onto a card blank. So yeah, I really think that looks lovely. Right, so I need to let this dry properly now and find some dies, or a nice die that I like, and some patterned paper. In fact, I probably should have done that first, is find a piece of paper to match. And also, I'm using an ivory card blank because they're the only ones that I've got that are big enough. So yeah, got to do some planning and playing, and I shall see you back in a bit. So here we go, friends. This is how it turned out. As you can see, the colours have all softened up now. They look really pretty and much more like they do in my swatch book, the Pink Jelly Bean and the Dusty Rose, the Spring Meadow and the Evergreen, and I'm actually really pleased with the way that that's turned out. I've never made a 7x7 card before, so you know it's somewhat of a challenge for me, but I think I have sort of brought it together. It's a special birthday, so it's the person's 50th birthday, and I had recently got a die set from one of the Tonic Mystery Bundles, this one, which is the Look Who It Is 3-tier pull-up card die set decoration. So it's not the actual pull-up mechanism, it's the add-on decorations for it. And there's some really nice decorations in here. There's some nice star frames, and I used one of them on a card recently. And what I really was impressed about was the... it's got all of the numbers and then the things after to make it into a birthday age card. So I cut out the 5 and the 0 in from the numbers in this pearlescent ivory card, and then the T and the H. I cut that out 3 times and popped it up on top of each other. And I was looking through my happy birthday sentiments, and there was a choice, because there is actually happy birthday in this set, and it also has a shadow layer. I like elements that have shadow layers to them. I just think it adds a little something extra to a card. But what I actually went for was the happy and the birthday from this Bright Rosa set, which are really nice and large, which I thought would be really good for this size of card. And usually what I would do is to back the sentiment onto vellum, and then put it on top of like a busy background. But the only vellum that I have is white, and I didn't think that white would look very nice on the background of this because of all of the white space. So I was sort of looking through my cardstocks, and I've got this pack luxury glitter card from Sarah's signature collection, and it's got these lovely colours in here. And initially I thought the turquoise might look nice, but the problem I had, and you might notice this yourself, is if you're trying to sort of use like a green or a pink, and you've already got greens and pinks, if it's not the right shade, it's just not going to look right. But then I just thought this midnight blue looked absolutely beautiful. And and it's really glittery and shiny, so I thought, well, that actually makes a really nice contrast. So I've cut 2 thin strips, and then I cut the shadow elements from the same cardstock, and I'm just sort of laying it out on the card, and I think that looks really nice. It's quite blingy. You know, it's a bit blingier than I would usually go for, but I think it's sort of, you can still see the nice background, but it adds a little sort of something extra. And also because I wanted to do the sentiments in this lovely pearlescent card that I've got. I'm not sure what brand it is, but it's like it's pearlescent, double-sided. Well, it's all the way through actually, and it's gorgeous card. And obviously because I'm using an ivory card base, I wanted it to be sort of cream or ivory. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mount this panel onto here using some double-sided tape, and then I'm going to glue on the other elements. And I'll show you a trick in a minute of how to adhere card panel fronts onto card blanks. And I picked this up from one of the YouTubers, the card making YouTubers that I follow on YouTube, Natasha Foot. This tip that I picked up from her is really handy. So if you sort of if you're adhering a panel using this double-sided tape, if you do it the way that I've just shown you there, and leave the half tab sticking out, it gives you a much better ability to position it before you have to commit to removing the tape. And now I have measured it, so it is 7 inches, so it is the exact right length, but still, now you can see I've got it slightly more to the right side than the left side there, but never mind, it's handmade, it's okay. And I can adjust that slightly anyway by the positioning of the strips. Yeah, see, that makes it look even. So let's get this final positioning right. Happy. Birthday. I like that. Yeah, that looks pretty. Okay, so I'm going to use my self-gripping tweezers and my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, which is nice and strong. I'd love to know what you think about the colour scheme and the card in general. If you let me know in the comments, any comments gratefully received. I'm really pleased with the way the layering stencil worked out. You know, I was having a bit of difficulty with sort of lining it up the way I wanted it, but I think the way it's turned out looks really pretty, like once it's dried. So I think that's a good tip really, is just to wait until the ink has dried before, you know, to reserve judgment. I always used to sort of just cut these to the exact length, but then I would find that however accurate I was trying to be, or I thought I had been, it would be a little bit wonky or a little bit off. So I'm sort of going more with the just glue the whole thing and then cut the edges off type approach nowadays, which is what I've seen at more, like the majority of other people doing too. I think that looks nice. I like that. Pink, green, blue, ivory. That looks really pretty. No, I'm not really feeling that. No, back in the pot. And then the other option is like iridescent sequins, because they go with absolutely everything. So let me just try that, because they do go with everything. Got a few in here. Where's my little jewel pick thing? Really little tiny ones. And some slightly bigger ones. And so they just pick up all of the colours around them, which is what I really like about them. Just trying to find them in my little multicoloured. That looks quite cute. I'm sure I just saw a bigger one. So I'll call that done. And just cut these end bits off, and then I think we're done. Oh, other than the fact that I need to stamp a sentiment on the inside of the card, but I've already figured out which one I'm going to do. And there we go. That is the final card. So let me know what you think. Do you know what? I am going to add some of this, because it does make it extra sparkly. Yeah, I mean, you can you see, even in the, as opposed to that one, it's only subtle, but if you can add more sparkle, why not add more sparkle? So this is the Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen. Got a couple of these, I do really like them. I do also have a Wink of Stella, which is very similar. But slightly different. The sort of shimmer is a slightly different colour. Only very fractionally though, they're practically the same. But I do love these Aqua Shimmer pens, just for adding a bit of sparkle to finish off a project. I think it's things like this, the last little finishing touches, that really make a card. Right, so there we go. That is the actual final card now. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It helps YouTube to know that that people like my videos, and it'll hopefully help my channel to grow. So if you like, use your finger. And obviously, if you'd like to see more of my projects and tutorials, then please subscribe to my channel. And I also really do want to know what kind of content that you'd like to see from me in the future. I've got a few videos in mind, like one of them sort of being either my first 2 or my first 3 months on YouTube. I've already had a request for a video on foiling, which I said I would do. So, you know, that's a couple of things in the making. I'm going to be making a cantilever box, which I'm going to enter into a competition. So yeah, so if there's anything that in particular that you would like, oh, let me just show you that stamp. So this is the stamp, what I'm going to stamp on the inside. Happy, happy, wonderful birthday wishes. And it's from My Favourite Things, Hanging With My Gnomies, which is just like one of my favourite sets, to be honest. It's really versatile, and I love gnomes and the cute whimsicalness of them. So yeah, there you go. I really am finished now. So take care, everyone, and keep safe, and see and speak to you again soon. Bye.